How does a German tax accountant do a 20 grand launch in just a few short days? We're going to uncover all the secrets of exactly how Benita K did this in today's show. Benita, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. I'm super happy I'm here.
I'm excited too. You've been with a client of mine for a little while now, and let's just wind the clock back a little bit. First of all, tell everybody listening and watching what your business is. What is it you do? How you help people? How that's packaged up? Just so I know what the hell we're talking about today.
Yeah, so my kind of secret superpower is actually to help business owners, and by now it's especially other tax advisors,
Mm.
to fall back in love with their business. And we do this by designing their dream practice, their dream business that not only provides a decent lifestyle for them, but also brings them personal fulfillment so that they can build a successful business and enjoy their life at the same time.
I love it. Okay, so you're working with a very professional services industry, and we have a number of our clients who are in that. I have another guy who from the UK. He helps accountants to grow their practices. You're much more about work-life balance. I love that because at the end of the day, that's why we sort of start our own firms, isn't it? That's kind of why we do it. And what format does this take in? Is this courses? Is it coaching? Is it one-to-one consulting? Like, what's the deliverables that you offer in this niche?
So this is a mix of different things. I
Mm.
do have a 12-week accelerator program. This is for those who want to get started with their dream business, their dream practice, actually to go through all the rooms in their house of their practice
Mm.
and just have a wiggle here and look there. What is good? What do they want to keep? And what do they want to change? So, this is the accelerator program. The accelerator program, then, if someone wants to, can lead into a mastermind. So, I do have tax advisors in the mastermind program where we meet every week and solve dream practice related problems
Right.
together as a group. And for those who actually want to dive very deep or do not like the group setting, I'm offering VIP days
Okay.
where I'm diving deep into one problem and get them unstuck.
Good. Good. I love it. And what's the sort of range of price points that you're talking about on these things? Because you don't have a super low ticket um, self study course, do you? I don't think.
I do, but these are more complementary
Right.
things where people can check out if they like to work with me, actually.
Sure.
That's
Yeah. Like
what
a
they
little
are.
sample
It's
taste.
like my playground where
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
what I checked out with you when I came into your programs. I
Yes.
checked out a low ticket thing to see if I can work. And so I do have those.
Mm.
Everything that is really facing the client is from 3K euro
Yeah.
upwards. So we have the accelerator is 3.6. The VIP days start at 2.5 for a day. The mastermind program is around 9K euro a year.
Okay. Great. Love it. So that's the price points like that. Very hands on. Very very semi scaled. As in you've got some. It's
Yeah.
group. It's not all one to one. You can take on a
Yes.
capacity of people. Love it. Okay. So let's get into the email marketing bit. So before we started working together, you joined our blueprint program and our academy program for the ongoing support. What was the problem that you were really trying to solve at that particular time? What was the thing you were like, "Oh, I need to fix this"?
Yeah. First thing was I wanted to write emails instead of being on social media all the time. I've been on social media for years.
Mm.
I've done that game. I I played it well, but I didn't really enjoy it much. So I'm an author. I've written several books, and so I love to write. And so I was like, if I can just write to my people, this would be so much more enjoyable for me
Mm.
as well.
Mm.
And so I figured email marketing could be the thing for me.
Mm.
And I started writing a daily newsletter.
Nice.
I had a very tiny list at that time because I never prioritized email before and started to grow that list, work daily email to them. And I really enjoyed that. And the subscribers enjoyed it as well. And it was great. I liked it.
Mm,
But after I got into the habit, at the beginning, it was like, oh my God, I have to write an email every day. And it took me about an hour.
mm,
So
yeah, yeah.
but then I got into the habit and it took me about 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. And I was like, yeah, okay, what's next? And next was for me to become a little bit more strategic. I entertained people on my email list. I'm
Yeah.
always writing story based. So I short story, how does it relate to their dream practice, what they can do right now to go their next step.
Mm,
So this was valuable and it was nice, but it didn't move them along the way. Actually, it was like,
mm,
there was no strategic approach. I was, when I had a launch, I also wrote about, yeah, I'm having a launch now, but it came like out of the blue. There was no preparation for them. If someone signed up the day before I announced a launch, or I even started a launch, or had cut open, they were like, what is going on here?
right, right. It was like, yeah, absolutely getting pummeled, 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 pummeled.
Pump
So
is a great word.
I think what's really interesting. I think what's getting really interesting here is you first formed the habit and you're
Yeah,
giving all of this value. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. I speak to business owners, all stages of business, all week long in masterminds that I speak at or I am in or whatever. And a lot of people at all stages, not just beginners, are all saying, I give a lot of value in my emails, but I feel like it's not giving me as much back because there's not the broad, like I'm not looking at the whole month or the whole quarter and going, how does this all fit together? And for you, I think it's really interesting what we're saying there is you really were trying to figure out how do I really nice and tidily move into a launch so it's not like happy, happy, happy. Now buy my thing, now buy my thing. Like it's not like this abrupt thing, which is,
yeah.
which is good. I really, really like that. Okay, that's cool.
Mhm.
So you came in and you were like, okay, I need to figure out how to do this launch. I need to bridge my subscribers from getting my stories, my daily, this is what I've been up to, this is kind of my
Yeah,
favorite cup of tea and my coffee and stuff, into I'm now going to launch it. In your case, it was your 3K accelerator program, wasn't it?
yeah.
So you came in, and I know we chatted and we talked about your work-life balance because that's important to you. That's one of the reasons that it's
Absolutely.
major part of your program
Yeah.
that you teach your tax advisors and accountants. What was the first thing you implemented? So you came in, you absorbed, you came in because you thought you wanted us to install the score method.
Exactly.
This series
Yeah,
of emails that people get when they
yeah.
first join your email list. Is that right?
Exactly. That was my aim at that moment. I felt like I want to be more strategic. I want to build a pathway for them that they can follow along smoothly and still know what is at the end of this pathway. What can I buy here? How can I move forward with Benita? And so this was missing, completely missing in my program. And this was what I actually signed up for. And when I then was in your program, I joined the membership immediately because this was a very important thing to me that I have access to a group and I have access to support. And so I enjoyed that very much. And I was very glad that I did this because when I opened that vault of the blueprint, I was like, where do I even start? Everything seems interesting. And I'm like very easily distracted.
I
And
want to do it all.
yes, I want to do it all and I want to do it now. And yeah, so this kept me on track a bit because you have a thread that you have a onboarding sequence for new people, and I was going through there and I was check marking things off and saying, okay, this is next, this is next, oh, probably this is next. And I attended the calls then, and I
Mm,
was learning with every call. I was learning a lot of things
mm.
that I didn't even know that I was missing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. You don't know what you don't know, do you?
Yeah, yeah, it was a whole new world that opened for me. And so the struggle was actually focusing on one thing.
And let me just pull something back for a second. So,
Yeah,
before you got to that point where you were like, oh my God, there's this whole world of email marketing
yeah,
strategy and technique that I had no idea, I didn't even know about. Like, it's like
yeah,
the great unknown of I didn't know, I didn't know. How long had you been sending daily emails and doing email marketing, sending emails up until that point? So, you'd been doing some stuff without this.
yeah.
How long had that been?
That has been about a little more than half a year. I started at the
Yeah.
beginning of March,
Mhm.
and I think I joined the program at the end of September.
Something like that. Yeah. So for
So, mhm,
6 months, you'd been doing email marketing, doing your thing, thinking, I'm doing email marketing. And then it wasn't until you were inside and you realized all of these levers and mechanisms that you were like, wow, I can see why this works even better and how email can really have results for you. And
yeah.
so, what was the first thing you started
Yeah.
implementing?
Then when I got to implement, I had a launch coming up. So I
Oh,
always have a
yes.
free
Yes.
launch event with a VIP upgrade for more access. And this was coming up, and I've seen that the card open phase.
Mm,
How do I not only rely on the people who are in the launch that they know about the accelerator program?
mm,
How do I transition the accelerator program to my whole list so that everyone who is on the list and didn't hear from the accelerator before and is not in the launch even has the chance to sign up for the accelerator?
love it.
And that was the thing I had to figure out, and I brought that question to the to our open office call or mass I don't know which kind of call it was. It was an awesome
One
call.
of our many calls that we give you. Yeah.
One of these many calls, and asked you about this and Aiden. Then you helped me come up with a sequence, which was the overture at that point, where I have a 6-part email where I'm introducing that offer and how it would help them in a way that is still entertaining. So people that do not think about joining the accelerator still can enjoy these emails. And I had replies to these emails that they said, okay, I'm not your target market, or I'm not your, I will not join the accelerator, but I really, really enjoyed hearing about it, how you
Right.
put this. And this was a game changer for me because it was strategic on the one hand, and still I didn't lose that contact with those people
Mm.
who are reading my emails and probably not in a place to buy a 3K program right now
For whatever reason. Yeah.
for whatever reason, time reason, money reason, whatever. And so even they could enjoy it, and I felt really good about that. And I feel I even deepened the relationship. And an extra bonus was people gained much more clarity around what I'm actually offering.
Amazing. Isn't it
Yeah,
amazing
that was
that
amazing.
because when you use what we call the Overture campaign, the whole point of it is to create clarity in your audience and they understand what the offer is. So every future campaign, sequence, email you send them, they are like, oh, that's about that thing. And I know what it is. It's a bit like they need to know what a bike is before you can tell them all the benefits of having a bike. They need to know what the hell the thing is because you're basically showing them something that's brand spanking new to those people. I love
Yeah.
that. So I remember we put together for your launch, I said, we're
Yeah.
going to start off with an overture to move people from dailies from your sort of normal daily sort of storytelling emails
Mhm.
into this as a launch event. So we're going to introduce the offer. We use the overture to do that. And
Yeah.
then what the interesting thing about the overture thing is it's not very launchy. It's not
Mhm.
very, it doesn't have an end. It doesn't finish up. So we tacked onto the end of it a second campaign to give it a nice big finish.
Yes, and that was a game changer for me. So I could smoothly transition from presenting the overture as an option into actually selling the
Mm,
accelerator program. And this was I think it was a Time Lord campaign
yeah, the Time Lord
that you and
campaign.
Aiden told me to combine both together,
Right.
and having the Time Lord follow up until card close.
Yeah. And the powerful thing about the Time Lord campaign is it very much says, hey, the card is closing at this day. And it creates an irrefutable expiry date on the thing, which even in the world of no trust and people going, oh, I'm going to extend the offer, it proves that you're not going to do that. So the
Yeah.
trust is really built and intact. I think one of the things we have to do in our launches, which you did brilliantly, Benita, in yours, is you have to keep trust intact during a launch. A lot of people crush and smash to smithereens, that's a word, smithereens, their list
Yeah.
and all of the trust they built because they're just so heavy handed
Yeah.
and forgetting you want to continue to mail that list later. So don't beat them up. It's a bit like you awkwardly finding, going into a bar and seeing your ex girlfriend there and being like, oh, that's a bit awkward. You don't want it to be an awkward ex boyfriend or girlfriend situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
and that was really helpful, and I had so many people respond also
Mm,
to the Time Lord campaign
mm,
emails, which were full-blown launch emails, full-blown card open emails,
yeah, yeah.
and they responded to me and said, "Okay, this is so interesting, but for whatever reasons, it's
Mhm.
not the right time. Please inform me when your card opens again." So I have a
Now
list.
you're creating a wait list.
Now I have a wait list of people that I have to reach out now because next launch is coming up now. And
Right.
so I will reach out to them and say, okay, this is the next card open, don't miss it. And they even thanks to the next project I realized with you, they even have the possibility to join in between from this cohort on. So
Nice.
they can join a cohorted program in between cohorts, and
Love it.
this this is really something that I did this especially for my personal heart
Mm,
because I felt bad about telling people who are coming into my world at a moment where they apparently have a practice they are not very happy with, and searching for help, signing up for my list, searching for information, and then telling them, yeah, the current cohort just has started, just wait for a month. I don't feel good about that. I don't know if anyone takes me up on that offer, but I personally feel so much more at peace with my offer stack now. This was for me a huge game changer. I'll
yeah.
keep you posted on
Yeah,
how many
yeah, definitely keep us
develop.
posted on how that goes. So let's talk about the results of doing this. You
Mhm.
went from a place of sending very isolated, individual, daily for you emails, which were just like today's thought. It wasn't related to other thoughts, wasn't related to a bigger business strategy or anything like that. And now you combined a bunch of things to get more of your emails seen and delivered and opened and clicked and all the email content stuff. But now also with a strategic approach to opening cart, and
Mhm.
and the strategy we gave you on one of the Q&A calls, one of the group calls, was take an overture sequence that you have inside the vault, put it with what we call a time lord sequence from inside the vault, send that out, and off you go. How were the results from doing that? Because it's different for your list. Like some people think, bloody hell, that's quite a different approach. Like I'm used to like being the content person. I email them once a week with a nice newsletter with some funny jokes and a cartoon in it. You know, you took that by the horns and you did it. What actually happened though?
So what happened was that this program, I had, I think, one or two cohorts before. This is a pretty new was a pretty new program,
Sure, sure.
and it was actually the best launch ever I had. So I had more people joining than ever before.
So you didn't kill everybody off. You didn't alienate your list. You
No,
got replies from people saying, I love it. Now I understand it. Put me on the waitlist for the next one. And you had more enrollments than
yes,
ever. And if I'm not mistaken, you brought in around 20,000 in
yes,
sales,
yes, I did.
which is phenomenal for
Yeah,
not that many days of work, a great thing, deepening relationship. And you're queued up
yeah,
a nice little line of people who wanna do the next one. And of
yeah.
course, you'll do it all again. That's
And
the thing.
also, I built an asset because now I can take that over to a campaign. It is planned for this launch again. And then I put it into my train carriage. So people, when they join my world, now that I have open enrollment, when they join my world, they get introduced, they get welcomed, and then I can offer them help with the Overture campaign. They get to know the accelerator as a solution for their problems
Mm,
on an automated basis. And so they are not thrown into half of a launch, depending on the date when they joined.
right.
Um, they get their sequence, they get acquainted to me, they get acquainted to how I can help them,
Mhm.
they get acquainted to my signature program, and then they go into whatever the thought of the day is.
Sure. And so I think if people were to take one action away from this, I think I'm going to just sort of summarize what I think we've learned from our conversation. If someone was to take one action from this and what Benita has implemented very quickly, like in just a matter of months, like this is proper business stuff, right? This is not click a button and money prints itself inside of a week. No, this is like you're building something you want to grow over time, and it's going to last a long time. So, but what you've done really here is really implemented, I'm going to call it joined up thinking. Rather than thinking of each day's emails like it's
Yeah,
insular on its own, like an island, you're thinking of this like a connection of islands. How are these things joined up? what are the paths between them, and doing it with campaigns. So switching from newsletters to a sequence, a campaign approach where it has a beginning, you're ramping people up, introducing people to a thing, and then telling them the urgent reason to buy. In this case, it's because your offer is closing, but it could be anything. It could be a bunch of different reasons. I think changing that thinking, I think you would agree, makes a dramatic difference in the results and the sales that you get.
Absolutely. Because I think of sales as invitations.
Okay.
I don't think like when I'm making a sale, this is not about me. This is about them. They want to solve a problem. I have solved my problem. I have my dream practice.
Right.
So that's why tax advisor doesn't do taxes anymore.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I built my dream business. My life is okay, but I know from personal experience, their life may be not. They may be missing out on seeing their children. They may be missing out on a good health or whatever. And so everything I can do to help them make the next step towards a better life is an invitation I want to extend to them.
Mm,
But I have to do it in um, in sync with my own values. I'm not someone who beats someone else with an offer over the head.
right.
I literally conducted launches and forgot the pitch. This
Yeah,
happened more than once and more than I want to admit. So,
yeah,
um, but this is how I can do it in a way that doesn't feel awkward to me,
right.
and it's in full integrity.
Yeah,
It's just an invitation. They can take me up on it, or they
mm.
can wait for the next cohort to
Next
start, or
next
whatever
cohort,
they
next
want to.
opportunity.
But I see it as my responsibility to let them know there is help if they want to. This is my responsibility. If they take me up on it, it's theirs.
Yeah, I
That's
love
none of
that.
my business.
I love it. Benita, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Honestly, this has been absolute gold for anyone who's thinking, I want to get better results from my email marketing. That switch to thinking about campaigns of emails, making them more sequential rather than like these little islands that are independent of one another, and increasing that frequency. One of the things that you came into this, you had an unfair advantage, which was you'd already got into that habit of emailing on a daily basis, Monday to Friday, because you're in a B2B space. That makes sense. So that's awesome stuff. If anybody wants to find out more about what you're doing, have a little look at your materials and how you're doing it. Obviously, most of it's in German, but there is Google Translate on the browser, unless you're German, in which case you'll be first language on that. Where should people go? And we'll put a link to it, of course, in the show notes too.
So the easiest way is to reach out to me via my website, Benita-Königbauer with OE. So I think you put a link in the show notes anyway.
I'll put a link in the show notes because anybody who's
Awesome.
a non-German speaker is going to be like, how many umlauts are going to be in this word?
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I don't even try to explain it.
That's fine.
So just look at the link in the show notes. This is my whole business in a nutshell.
Right.
You can sign up for my list if you're speaking German. If you're not speaking German, you have to use the watch
Translate.
in browser link in
Yeah.
every email and just translate it with Google.
Nice one.
So you're very welcome as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much. And folks, if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe on your podcast player. Go and check out Benita's link in the episode description. And we will see you all again next Email Marketing Wednesday. See ya.